What is going on, guys? It's Bucky and welcome to your fourth tutorial on Adobe Premiere Pro. Now in this tutorial we're going to be going over something called the timeline, which is an extremely important part of Premiere Pro. So what the timeline is pretty much a visual representation of your movie. So yeah, we go ahead, we pop a DVD in and we see how everything looks nice, but someone needs to put that all together. Someone needs to slice up all those clips, put a title exactly where they want it to be, and that's what the timeline is. So before we even get started, we need to import some footage, and I'm also going to import a picture. So let's go ahead and hit File, Import, and this is how you get footage from your computer to the program. So you can either click one file and hit Open, and it's going to import that one file, or if you hold down Control, you can select multiple files. So I'm going to go ahead and import 36 and I don't know, 112, just two random ones, and hit open, and it imports both the files. Now I want to mention this. The very first time you import a file, I already edited these in other podcasts, so my computer already recognizes them, but it may say conforming on the bottom right corner right here. And there's going to be a little progress bar. Make sure you wait for that progress bar to complete, or else you might get some mistakes whenever you try to save your final video. So a lot of people have that problem. They don't wait for it to conform, and I just want to mention, please wait for it to conform. There. Now that I'm done with my little spiel, let's go ahead and import something else. So I want to import that main picture that I used as a title. So let me see if I can find that. In my downloads, it's the only thing I downloaded. So go ahead and open this, and it's going to import all of this crap into the project panel. So now you're saying, alright Bucky, how do I get this crap from the project panel to my main movie? Well, what we need to do is we need to go ahead and select one of these clips, and by holding the icon and dragging it, go ahead and drag it on your timeline. Now what the timeline is basically a visual representation of your movie. So you're saying, alright, so right here would be 16 seconds, right here would be 32 seconds, 48, and so on. So right now our entire movie looks like it's about 2.5 minutes long, pretty cool. But what we notice is, alright, this movie isn't starting at the very beginning, and it isn't starting, it starts like 3 seconds in. So what we need to do is click this clip and drag it over so it starts at the very beginning. And now we can see that, alright, we do have some footage popping up. So basically, in order to move these clips around, just go ahead and drag them left and right. Or if you want to drag them on other tracks, which I'll be talking about in a little bit, you can do that by dragging them up and down. But you usually want to make sure that you start at the very beginning, so make sure you bump that all the way to the left, so as soon as the movie starts playing, your video starts playing. If you had it like this, then your movie would play for like 16 seconds and it would just be black and no sound for 16 seconds before any of your clips popped up. So go ahead and bump that all the way to the left, and now I'll give you a tour of this timeline. So the very first thing we notice is this thing right here. This is called the time display. This pretty much says, alright, at this point in time, that's where you're working. And if you want to change the point in time, say you wanted to add a title at around 15 seconds, you would go ahead and move this blue thing with a red line coming out of it. Kind of reminds me of a Spalian, what did I say, Spalian, alien spaceship with a laser beam shooting down from it. Move it to around 15 seconds, and then I would go and drop a title on track 2. So now my video plays for 15 seconds, and then the title appears, and then it plays it again. So basically, I just want to say, if you want to go to a different point of time in your video clip, you can move it around with this, and this time display just pretty much displays where in your video you're looking at. So another thing I want to mention is that these tracks, video 1, 2, 3, are pretty much like layers. You can only see what's on top. So now, if you can see, at 12 seconds, I'm displaying this clip right here because if you zoom down to my laser, that's the very first thing it hits. But now, when I look at this picture, it zooms down and it hits this picture. So that's why, since this picture is laying on top of the video, that it can't see the video. So if we were to play the movie, it would show the clip in the video, and it would show the video clip, and then the picture would cover it up for about 10 seconds, and then it would start playing the clip again, and that's why. So make sure whenever you're arranging your video clips to keep in mind whatever's on top is the thing that's going to be displayed, and if anything's underneath it, then it's going to be hidden, just like transparencies in high school. So aside from the time display and the current time indicator, I want to talk about this thing. This is the viewing area bar, and this pretty much is saying, alright, it's pretty much the zoom. So you can zoom in two different ways. You can scroll with this viewing area bar, which I hate, or zoom in and out using this little slider at the bottom there. This is the way I always zoom. This is the way I recommend doing things. So always zoom with this thing. Now this other bar right here, again, I already know what, I'm guessing you already know what this is, the time. Like 2:08 means 2 minutes and 8 seconds into your movie. I don't really need to go over that. But this bar right here, you may be a little confused about. See this bar that you can kind of move around and has these white little angle brackets next to it? This is called the work area bar. And 99% of the time, don't ever touch this because it automatically fits perfectly with your movie. But for some reason, you want your final movie to be shorter than your actual editing, you would move this so it's shorter or longer. But I just want to, if you're getting like a movie that's a minute longer than it should be, that means you accidentally hit this. That's why I wanted to point that out. So aside from that, what's next? These little buttons right here, probably the only one you'll ever use is this snap button. Now what the snap button does is say you wanted to add this title in your movie. So what you would do is you wanted to add it right at 8 seconds. So you would move your current time indicator to 8 seconds, and check this out. Whenever you're dragging this, if you have that snap button selected, it automatically pops to that line, just like that. However, if you don't have it selected, check it out. It doesn't pop to that line, so it may be kind of hard. Okay, so is it right? Oh, nope, right there? Nope, not quite. Okay, right there? I don't know. So that's why I typically like to have snap on, because it pops right to your line, and it's going to make editing a whole lot easier. So that's what snap does. Another thing is, if you ever want to temporarily hide a track, for example, you're saying, alright, I have my title on top of this video right here, but I really want to see what's going on in the video right here. So I don't want to remove it completely permanently, but I just want to hide it temporarily. What you can do is you can select this track and click this hide eye button, and it's called toggle track output, and temporarily it hides it. So even though the title's still there, you can pretty much see through it. So when the eye is up there, it's normal, and when it's hidden, then there you go. So aside from the hide track, you can also do that with audio, and you're saying, alright, how can you see and not see audio? It pretty much mutes the track or unmutes it. So you're saying, alright, this track is annoying, I don't want to delete it, but I don't want to listen to it right now. You can go ahead and click that little speaker, and it'll mute it whenever you're editing. So aside from that, you can also collapse and expand the tracks by using this little arrow. Maybe you have a bunch of video tracks and you don't want them big mumbo jumbo like this, so you might want to go ahead and collapse everything, or you might just want to go ahead and collapse the audio and expand the video. Maybe you find that easier to work with. It's really up to you. Now you're saying, alright, so I have this video clip right here, and I have this title, and then I'm going to go ahead and bring in this video clip eventually. But alright, what if I needed like another title? What if I needed another track? In order to add another track, what you would do is you would go ahead and right click here, and you would hit add tracks. And that's where you can add all your tracks, because, I don't know, typically whenever I'm doing my podcast, I have one on my camera, one on her camera, in the titles and stuff. So I typically only work with 3, but if you're making a real big movie and you want more, that's how you do it. So now we have about 8 seconds in, the title pops up, and then it goes back to my camera for a little bit, and then let me move this so it goes to her camera. So there we go. That's like our mini movie that we just created. So let me go ahead and play this entire thing. We can play this in 2 different ways. Whenever we want to preview our final movie, we can go ahead and hit this play button right here, and we can stop it, or a nice little shortcut, and this is a whole lot easier, is you can just hit the space bar. So let me go ahead and hit the space bar, and we can watch our final movie for like the next 30 seconds. I'll narrate too. Or I'm like saying, oh, I'm so awesome, I'm so awesome. Hey, want to see a cool title that I popped up? Oh, there it is. There's my cool title I popped up. And okay, enough of that. Okay, now back to me talking, and what do you got to say about this? And then it pops over to her. Oh, I gotta say, this and that and this and that. So there you go. There's our final movie. I actually heard the audio that you guys probably couldn't hear, so it was kind of mumbo jumbo rambling. But, anyways, there you go. There's a quick overview of the timeline. Hopefully, you understand what all these widgets and gadgets do now. Again, a couple of these things, like, I don't know, toggle sync lock and toggle track lock, you can understand them later when we talk about locks and, we really don't use it that often, so I really didn't want to throw everything at you, but hopefully you got a better understanding of the timeline now, and you can at least make a makeshift movie now. So for now, thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video.